Welcome to the rusty playground. Matty, Matt, and Vanny Boy hanging around. Kinda sorta speaking for the coolest generation. It's a cultural bash. Picking through the 70s and 80s trash can. Kicking back, keeping it slack for the Gen X nation. You might skin your knees. You might contract a blood disease. Well, that's what you get for hanging around in the rusty playground. Welcome to the rusty playground. Ow!
On tonight's Barnaby Jones.
Barnaby Jones. He was 185 years old. Who the hell was he catching?
And
Hey, Barnaby, why don't you go get that young group of thugs?
yeah, they're selling poppers on the street.
Hey, you want some dope?
You need to infiltrate.
81 Jump Street.
You're under deep cover, Barnaby. I know. Okay. We're not going to be able to pull you out, so just remember this. Let's just put it this way. He's old enough to where his name is Barnaby.
He's old enough to where he was the original woodsman in the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. That's how old he is.
He's been around so long that people don't even know what he did before the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. His
I can't think of anything.
I mean, just that. Just the Wizard of Oz, but he was trying to do it, and then he was allergic to the
silver paint. Yes.
Yeah. What a bummer for him.
Yes. Are we catching any of this on the recording?
Yes, it's all recording now. So
good.
Yeah. All right, so we'll just do the opening part here, and
this could just be part of the podcast of us just talking, and then say, okay, let's start doing our thing.
We could, or I could put it at the end, although your songs go at the end. So, yeah. Okay, and hi, he's Matty Man.
And he's Vanny Boy. And you're listening to The Rusty Playground, a Gen X-centric podcast centered on all things great and mighty and cool about Gen X, the coolest generation.
Tonight, we're going to somewhat scare the pants off of you since it's spooky season, and by the time this gets out, it will no longer be spooky season. So
wait a minute, hold on. I gotta go get my depends on. Sorry. No, I think I'll be all right.
No, I've messed myself like 3 times during setting all this up, so whatever.
Technology scares me.
I mean, I'm here downstairs by myself. Nobody cares what I smell like. My dog Ozzy loves it, actually, to be honest.
Yes. I mean, are you the kind of person that like sniffs your finger at different times? Like, what is this?
No, but I did know somebody who would do that. I'm not going to say who it was. It wasn't Matty Man.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, but I did know somebody who they'd smell their fingers at different times, whether if they scratch their nuts and they'd smell it, or their butt or their armpit or whatever. And I was always like, just assume it smells like balls and ass, and you don't have to worry.
But they're curious of what it actually smells like, apparently.
I guess.
But we digress.
Yes, I'm less concerned about what my balls smell like than I am how scared I was while I was watching this as a kid. So we got
that's what we got to focus on. This was scary, folks. I mean, I know you are going to think it's just 70s cheese, but just Google the last story at least. But let's get there.
Yes. So basically, we wanted to do something for Halloween, and it took us a while to get things done. So by the time you're hearing this, Halloween is gone and past. But that doesn't matter, because this came out in 1975 that we're going to talk about, and so it really doesn't matter. It happened a long time ago.
Half a century ago. Insane.
Yes, insane. So what we're going to talk about tonight is Trilogy of Terror.
It's a trilogy, and there's some terror.
Yeah, there's a little terror. The last part is terror. The other parts, maybe not so much. So what this was, to set the stage, is Maddie and I were 5 years old when this thing came out, and I distinctly remember watching it, specifically the last of the trilogy, and it made an indelible mark. Let's just put it that way. I even
Not just in
mentioned,
your underwear.
well, they're there anyway, but
Yeah.
I was talking to my cousin Vincent today about, oh, we're going to do another episode of the podcast. He asked what it was about, and I told him, and he's like, I don't remember that Trilogy of Terror. I said, oh, it's the one with where the woman has the doll, and he's like, oh, and it chases her around. Yeah, I was like, yeah, yeah,
Like everybody knows.
yeah. Everybody who's Gen X that
Yeah.
saw this remembers it. That
Yeah.
last one in particular.
Yeah, it's things like that kind of, gave us that staring off in the distance. We've seen some shit
We have seen
kind of
some shit.
mentality. Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that after watching this, I'm sure it wasn't made for 5-year-olds like me and Maddie, but your family only had 3 channels, right? So
Yeah. One in the three chances they're watching this.
yes, yes, and I'm sure that NBC or whoever did it, I think it was NBC. They I'm sure hyped it up to the nines, and when you started watching it, it was maybe a bit more risque than I, would have passed myself if
Yes,
I were an
there's definitely
executive.
some more adult themes in there that, at least on the earlier stories, that I really picked up on this last time watching it.
Yeah, yeah, like definitely. Kids wouldn't pick up on some of the stuff, and we'll get to it then. But certainly adults did, and that would have. I remember when my kids were a lot younger. I mean, even now, like if we're one's 15 and one's 13, going to be 14 in a couple months, and we'll watch something like the most recent Naked Gun, which is hilarious, by the way.
Mhm.
I'm a purist when it comes to my Naked Gun. There'll never be another Leslie Nielsen, period. I was refusing to watch it, and it is funny as hell. And I was very surprised. The writing and everything was tight, but there's a scene in it, and when we're watching it, there's a scene in it where, let's just say, remember in Austin Powers, the second one, when they were in the tent, and even though they were doing things, it looked like,
Oh, right, yeah. The
yeah,
shadows
yeah.
looked like risque, and yeah.
Yeah, they had something similar to that. I don't want to spoil it. People should watch. It's very funny, but just like oral and stuff and stuff like that. And it's just the shadows. But I'm sitting there with my daughter and my son, and even then, it's a little uncomfortable. Even though they go to public school and they know about this stuff, and they know
Right,
what's
they're old
right.
enough to where, yes, they know about the world.
Yes, and we did not when we were 5 years old, so we didn't know
No.
some of this stuff. But so let me break this down for you folks. Trilogy of Terror, it aired on March 4th, which you can't get more Halloweeny than March 4th, 1975. And
Oh, it's like, I mean, what is it like? Is this, well, baseball season's coming up. That's scary.
I guess hell, baseball season is in October, so it was
I'm just
based
saying,
on.
yeah. Anyway, but
Yeah. That they're just like trying to find something that was what's something we can wrap this around. So it was based on unrelated short stories from Richard Matheson, who also wrote I Am Legend. He did The Last Man on Earth, which Vincent Price did, and The Omega Man with Charlton Heston. He also wrote plenty of Twilight Zone stuff, and he wrote things that, if you
oh,
remember.
wait. You mentioned Charlton Heston. I just have to do this because
Yes.
I love 372 pages so much. But this man still wage war on man.
Plug for 372 pages, by the way.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
fantastic. But anyway, so he also wrote all the screenplays for those Edgar Allan Poe, let's just say, inspired movies like House of
Yes.
Usher, Pit and the Pendulum, The Raven, that kind of thing that Roger Corman made. Also, I believe all of them starred Vincent Price as well. He also wrote Duel, which, for those who don't know, Duel was Steven Spielberg. It was a made for TV movie that they were like, let's give this Spielberg character a chance and see what he can do. And it stars Dennis Weaver, who's just driving cross country or wherever, and somehow this trucker gets pissed off or something at him. We don't really know, and he
We never
basically
know, correct?
yeah, you never know. And he basically is hunting him and tracking him down through the desert and stuff. And Dennis Weaver's like, why are you doing this? And no, you never know. But that was what made Steven Spielberg say, I should do Jaws. So it is like a you're a victim, and here comes the shark, kind of thing.
Yes, the monster in this case being, hell on wheels.
Yes, yes. And I
I was
mean, it's
right.
intense,
Yeah,
man. It is super intense. But
that's
only
Richard Matheson, folks.
only one of that's him. He did a lot of stuff, not just this one thing. But this was a really cool kind of cutting edge thing that they did back in 1975. So the gist of it is that there's three different short stories. I guess macabre horror, maybe, is that how you would describe?
Yeah,
Certainly the last one is horror. The rest of them, I guess, is kind of like macabre or macabre if you're fancy
hmm
pants.
yeah.
So this stars actress Karen Black. It shot her into the sky, and then it shot her down too, because she felt like it kind of put her in a B movie like little package for everybody. So after this, it was like they could only see her in this kind of role, which was pretty unfortunate. But
Well, if she had not done burnt offerings the very next year, she may have been able to escape it. And that's my opinion, because that was a British, B movie,
mm-hmm,
horror film with
mm-hmm.
Oliver Reed. It was definitely, it's seen better days. But yeah, I think between this and then having that movie, within this the span of a year, that really probably dried up some other opportunities. But she was in
And
Airport 75. She did, that was a.
that's how she got this role.
Oh, was it that? Okay.
Yeah, that she had gotten, even though this came out then, she got this role because she was in that movie. So I don't know if that movie came out after this or not, but who knows? I didn't look. I didn't.
But
I'm,
yes,
I'm
Karen
Gen X.
Black,
I didn't look.
she became kind of like the scream queen sort of
Yeah,
actress.
yeah, sort of like that. And in a way, I feel bad for her for that, but in another way, as I watched this, I was looking stuff up for this, like the information about the guy who wrote it and stuff. I didn't know all that off the top of my head. It turns out that she was getting pretty much really good rave reviews on her performances here, because she plays the female lead in all three of these short stories, and in one of them, she plays twins, so to speak, or not just sisters. They're sisters, but basically, she got really
Sisters.
yes, she got really good reviews. But as I watched this, I thought, I'm not sure if she's. I don't know. I'm not sold on her brilliance of these performances, but it's up to people if they want to go and watch this. I watched it for free on YouTube. I mean, it's like 50 years old. Like Maddie Man said, it's out there on YouTube. You can watch it, and
Yep. I saw it on Tubi.
certainly the last one that we get to, Amelia is what it's called. It is definitely worth watching. It was, matter of fact, watch it on your television while you're sitting on the couch with the lights off, and if you have kids, like let's say 10 years old or above, they could watch this one. It'll scare the hell out of them, but it's very cool. So it's made up of three short stories. Julie is the first one. The second one is Millicent and Therese, and the third one, as I said, is Amelia. So basically, the way it's been a while since we did one of these episodes. This is the beginning of season 3, by the way.
Yes.
And
Yes.
why season 3?
A new
Because
beginning.
we said so. Yeah, because Matty Man had work done on his office, and that was taking a while. And I had to rebuild my computer. My computer died, so I had to buy all different parts and put it together, and that all took a long time. So it's been a couple months since we've done one of these, and so we thought, well, you know what? Screw it. We'll change the opening song if you didn't notice, and we'll just keep on rolling. Why not?
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
We live sometimes in spite of others, but that's
yes,
fine. It's
often
fine.
in spite of others.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the way that we've season 1, we had it where we would talk about something, and we did research, we had scripts, we had all this stuff that we would do, and then I would go in, post edit,
And he
and I
would
would like,
basically just, destroy himself for like
yes, yeah,
for like 2 weeks.
we would literally talk for 2 hours, and I would take another 30 hours to make each episode because I was stupid. I became obsessive. Totally my fault. Absolutely my fault. But I would go
Yeah.
find references and put them in there. And
we had so many B rolls.
yes. Oh my God. So I literally, I have thousands of little clips and stuff on my computer from just that first season. And
Maybe
so,
we should put one in every so often.
yeah.
Maybe.
Actually, I think I did. I put the Christmas toy episode, which we wanted to do. I think we had 10 toys each, and it ended up being
That was an
literally
epic. That was a saga.
it was literally 11 different episodes, and the naming convention that I would do is like, episode 3, because let's say it's episode 3, it's talking about Christmas toys, but it would say episode 3, and then I would say
It's a part 1 of episode 3.
yeah, part
And
A,
then
part
and then the next time it's like, hey, we didn't really have enough time to finish that part of A, so we're gonna have A2. I don't know.
Yes. And so Maddie Man pointed out wisely, I would say, that I'm Generation X. Why in the hell am I putting too much effort into anything? Whether it's the podcast, a marriage, my drinking problem, anything, it doesn't matter. And I was like,
at some point you just have to say, whatever.
yeah, whatever. Which is,
Whatever.
I mean, yeah, that's our catchphrase. So, not ours personally, but our generation as a whole. So season 2, we decided, because we took a break, because I was like, I don't think I can do this. And again, it was all my fault. I just got too obsessed with it. So anyway, we said,
and he had to actually go pick up his kids or take them to school, whatever. And Christina got home. It's like, where are they? Who? Oh shit!
I think they're walking back. I'm not sure. I lost track of everything going
exactly.
on.
Hey, I just forgot something in the car. And she brakes are squealing, or tires are squealing. I mean,
I'm old enough to just use the Fred Flintstone technique. So,
yeah, okay.
But so we did season 2, which we called season 2 because we had taken like a 6-month break at that point. Not even sure if we'd do it, even though we were like, we got to figure out a way to do this because we just love to shoot the shit together and be fools. And so here we are. And season 2 was us just picking a subject. We may look over the wiki, and if it's a movie we hadn't seen in a while, maybe we'll watch it. But then we'll just sit and talk about it. And that was fun. That was perfect. And that's
I would ruminate, a lot of rumination, and then at the last minute I would jot something down. And here we are, season 3.
Yeah, so season 3, fully intend on pretty much all of these episodes being us with a subject, remembering it, talking about it, and being funny and stupid as we normally are.
So what we're basically telling you is we're going to do the things that people tend to do.
Yes.
On these,
except this time.
Yeah.
So with this one, since it was so long, we actually were going to do 2 different things: the Trilogy of Terror of Trilogy, or whatever those things called, and Trilogy of Terror, and also
we're already off the rails. It's done.
We are. I love it. That's
Trilogy of Terror. It's
Trilogy of Terror.
A trilogy of stories.
Yes, and they're supposed to be terrible, and then
terrifying.
And then we were going to do Salem's Lot. But
let's face it, man, you can't get both of those in.
No, hell, we've already been talking for 26 minutes and we ain't even started the damn thing. So although this is all
padding, we need it. If we're gonna get syndicated.
Yes, exactly right. It's us and the next generation. So basically, as I started to watch these, and Maddie watched them as well, I was started to write some notes. Just like, I thought this guy was a dick or whatever was on it. Normally, like I said, we don't have any kind of script to follow, but I did kind of write a play-by-play for you to get a sense of what each of these episodes were. Maddie Man did not. I asked him, I was like, I'm trying to figure out.
He said, would you like to write something? I'm like, hey, me with my English degree, and then I don't write anything. But
right. Yeah. So basically I was like, hey, just wing it. And
that's what I like doing.
Yes. So I asked him.
So even though there's a few suggestions of what I could say in different places, I might say those, or I might say something of my own.
It doesn't matter to me. So
but good placeholder as far as where those remarks should go. I will say you got in my mind, you've got good comic timing going on.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it. And let's not waste any more time.
Yes. The next 35 minutes, I swear,
are going to be tight.
focused.
We're going to be laser focused on this. So,
Okay, so let's do this.
all right, let's do it. So, story one is Julie. Okay, the story opens up with two 33-year-old college students, Eddie and Chad, who are girl watching. Chad says, quote, God, have you ever seen so many dogs in one place?
Sure, man. Colleges notorious for having only ugly girls.
Right.
Makes a lot
Uh,
of sense.
yes, it does. Especially looking at these middle-aged men sitting on the campus. So Karen Black, as I said before, she plays Julie, who's a college teacher, and of course, she's just unbelievably hideous.
At least the local dicks, Eddie and Chad.
Yeah, the two 33-year-old, 19-year-olds are literally throwing up in their mouths. Chad says he, quote, wonders what she looks like under all of those clothes.
And perhaps I should have turned around and asked mom and dad what he meant.
It's
I think they've been
1975.
like, just watch this story.
Yeah, just
No. Anyway,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I mean, like that would have been definitely awkward for people at the time. So Eddie can't believe that Chad would imagine such a nightmarish scenario as this naked teacher. Chad answers, "quote The idea just popped into my head." Now I mentioned quote because this plays into later. In Julie's English class, she writes a diagram on the board. She asks one question. She gets only one answer, and that's from Chad. And then she realizes that they're just out of time for the day. Okay, that was very awkward. She sits down on the desk and she shows some serious leg. Chad has mental flashes of Julie lying on a bed, close-ups of her lips, followed by flashes of him locking a hotel door with Julie clearly unconscious on the bed. And then he climbs on top of her, and then she dismisses her 2-minute lecture, and Chad snaps out of it.
I'm sorry. I'm just having a really hard time believing that no college age kid would have found her attractive. I mean, Van Halen wrote a song about this.
Right. We're all familiar with the concept of the hot librarian and the hot teacher. But anyway, she's supposed to be ugly, at least to these two douchebags. Chad waits for the rest of the class to leave, and also presumably for his boner to go down, and asks Julie out. He's really smooth about it too. He picks up a book that she drops, hands it to her, and says, "You sure do have a lot of books." I know she wanted to say, "I'm an English teacher, you dumbass." But I get the sense that she's luring him to his doom, so I will accept it. At home, Julie's roommate, Anne, tries to set her up with a friend. She gives her loving advice like, if you worked at it just a little, you'd really be attractive.
Oh, man. Bless her heart. What a sweetheart, man.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean, first of all, I just want to interject. So this Anne roommate thing,
Mhm.
how long has she been a roommate of hers? I mean, how many like guys has she seen like get like lured into, and then what happened to that guy? Oh, he died as well.
Yeah, I wondered that too. Toward at the end of this, you're like, wait a minute, huh?
Yeah, but that's just we're moving along. Yes.
So the whole setup for this is that this teacher is homely, I guess, which Karen Black is she's not Scarlett Johansson, but she's not Sylvia Plath either. So or what's the one that everybody uses for the
Yeah.
ugly woman? I can't even remember her name.
No, I can't remember at this
Also the
point.
writer, yeah.
Because the world's just full of dogs.
Yes, especially on colleges.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, outside of her apartment, while this happens, this girl goes out on a date, and Julie is there by herself. So meanwhile, outside, all-American man-child Chad is sneaking around, looking in the window, and presumably loosening his nut noose before gangrene sets in.
This nut noose word there. What is the nut noose?
Well, I made it up because it seemed like something a creep would wear, that he just like ties a noose around his nuts. So
I see. Because
yeah,
otherwise, you'll never get through the day. I got
no,
you now.
yeah, and it hurts, which makes
Nut
him feel
noose.
ashamed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
That's free. That's one way to have blue balls. But anyway, for a guy trying not to throw up in his mouth due to her hideous, disgusting body and face, he sure is dedicated.
for sure. And Julie starts to comb her hair.
Which looks more difficult than finding a nut noose before the internet.
It really, she's brushing her hair, and it's like a horse's tail or something. I don't know. It was like, you need a new comb, honey. Anyway, during the scene, Chad's spying as she undresses, and there's a part where he lifts his finger up to his lips in what I can only assume the director thought was a creepy and a sexy way.
Well, now we're all throwing up in our mouths. Thanks, Chad.
You dick. So, cut to the next day, and Chad is walking out of the class with Julie. Turns to her and says that Faulkner was better than Fitzgerald.
What a panty dropper.
He asked his gross, disgusting, living booger of a teacher out to a vampire movie in French with English subtitles. As anyone could have easily predicted, Julie shoots Mr. Nutnoose down, claiming that teachers are not allowed to date students. She asks why Chad, who, quote, could have his pick of all these co-eds, would want to date her. He says he wants maturity.
Now, folks, in reality, Karen Black is only 4 years older than Robert Burton, the actor who plays Chad.
And it's pretty obvious. They do not look like, like one's 22 and one's 38. I mean, it's pretty obvious. They're very close in age. So
and to further show how close they are in age, they were married or getting divorced or something at that time.
In real life?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes,
Wow.
indeed.
Okay, well there you go. That's a good little tidbit of information. I definitely could make the scenes a little weird. So anyway, they go on the date, cut to the drive-in, and Chad goes to get root beer for both of them. As soon as he gets the root beer, he stops right outside the door of the concession, stands there and puts drugs in her drink in full view of all of everyone.
It was 1975. People were probably too high to notice, or they were all doing the same thing.
Right. Yeah, that's how they dated. They just date raped each other all the time, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, at the counter when you could get your like the peanuts and popcorn, they had a little stand of stuff. There various like stuff you could dump in drinks.
Yeah, they were
hey, hey, I can't say it.
They were disguised as pudding pops. Oh god.
Hey, straight shooter, you got anything to put in that girl's drink?
If I don't, she'll come get it herself. That's just what they expect. It was a different time, folks.
Get your rape juice here.
He's got the flat brimmed cap and the striped shirt with the cane. Oh god. Yeah. So anyway, by the time he gets to the car, if you hear that knocking, Maddie during his move has got new furniture, and so his stand doesn't work so well with his microphone, so he's holding it.
Oh, did I screw something up?
No, just so you hear it every now and then. We appreciate your sacrifice, Maddie man. So
okay, that's fine.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
I injured my left arm recently trying to pick something up I had no business trying to pick up, and I still haven't gone to the doctor for it. So the more I bend my arm, it'll feel really nice trying to straighten it back out, but that's okay for this, whatever it takes.
Yeah, that's how much you mean to us, three people who listen to our podcast.
Yeah, so think about that. Are you happy? Are you happy now? Cajoling us? Okay, let's get back on track.
So back to us. Okay. So when he gets back to the car, he looks at her in the most creepy creep to ever creep way. He waits until she passes out, drives to her motel, where, by the way, her passed out face is like hanging out the window. It's pretty obvious. But anyway, he signs in as Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan Harker.
Please die, Chad. Die by fire.
Amen. So cut to inside the room, the hotel room, and Julie's passed out on the bed as Chad takes pictures of her. He said earlier he was a photographer. It's exactly like his visions from before, and he starts taking off his shirt and walking towards her.
Presumably so it doesn't get wrinkled while raping her. Because, hey, he may be a rapist, but he's not slovenly.
No, he's fashion sensible. He walks her to her front door like the gentleman that he is and asks her out again. Now, Julie says she can't go out with him again. She feels bad because she doesn't want to lose her job. Chad, being an understanding chap, says, "We'll see." The next morning, Saturday, Chad calls Julie before 8 in the morning.
Just for the fact he's calling her before 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
For that, he deserves to fester in hell.
For sure. I mean, rape's one thing. Calling me before 8 a.m., come on.
Yeah. I mean, chances are good that, any of us could get raped, but for God's sakes, afternoon, okay?
Yeah, especially on Saturday,
But that's all right. I mean, I don't want to take it lightly here, folks, but anything before 8 a.m. 8 a.m. is just don't do it.
Evil.
Don't.
It's evil. Yes. So on the since he called her, he orders her on. She answers the phone for some reason. He orders her to get dressed because he's coming by to pick her up. She says no. He says, "You and I are going on a little drive." She refuses yet again, stating again that she doesn't find it a bit amusing. And he says, "It's not meant to be."
I think I hear a noose tightening.
Chad drives her out of the city and shows Julie the pictures that he took the night before when she was drugged. She realizes what had happened and asks him how he could do something so sick.
Perhaps you could ask the same thing of the TV execs who put this on network television at 8:30 at night on a Tuesday.
Yes, because it's rather risque. He tells her that she can keep those copies because he still has the negatives, and she says she'll go to the cops. He says, "Nah, you won't because you have no proof you were drugged," and he will deny it, and he will proclaim that she seduced him.
Her seducing him? That would be sick. He's a 33-year-old minor.
Exactly. Julie asks what he wants from her, and he smiles at her like the devil eating a baby's heart.
Just in case his feathered hair makes you forget he's evil.
Yeah, you're not going to. The next day in class, Chad slips her a letter in the book stating that after class she is to, quote, go directly to his apartment and that he, quote, has some friends he wants her to meet.
So, Mom and Dad, does that mean she's going to get gangbanged?
Yes, Matt. I mean,
Once again, if you're a kid, you're like, I don't know what that implies. But when I saw that this time around, I thought, what?
yeah.
Friends?
We were 5, so we couldn't even read it. But if you're like 12 watching this, you can read that he's saying you're ordered to come to my apartment and I had
Some
sex
friends
with
are going
you
to
and
show up, and what do you think's going to happen?
yeah, you figure it out. So anyway,
Are they going to play Twister, Mom and Dad?
are they gonna play hide the salami, Mom and Dad, just like Mom and the governor? Uh,
Yeah.
I
When the
meant to,
vacuum cleaner guy comes over,
I meant to say mailman, but
you said governor.
I had a brain fart, and the only thing I could think of was governor.
Wow. Hey, if your mom, if anyone's mom's going to be a whore, it better be with somebody with some real power.
Yeah, that's right. So they can kill her if things get off the rails.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So, folks, anybody who's going to commit adultery, always do it with somebody up in like the political stratosphere. Okay.
yeah, someone more powerful and rich than you are. Good idea. Great idea.
Yes. Yes. Morals.
So anyway, so he hands her this, and she's shaken and dismayed, and ends class immediately. Which, now that I think about it, was probably like 1 minute early from her 2 minute class, so it wasn't a big deal. But anyway, it's unclear if this is because she's slipping into the madness of the situation, or if she's just in a hurry to get to the orgy. But either way, cut to Julie coming back to her apartment in a weird. So this is later. You can tell it's
Right.
later. You don't know how much later till a little later, but in a
Yeah.
weird detail, I noticed she's walking sort of funny, not funny, haha, more funny like, well, gangbanged.
No, it's crazy that would get past the censors. But I would also say this: would she really be walking funny if this is something she was expecting, or if she's been doing this for a while?
Well,
She's luring guys into like thinking they're taking over her and gangbanging her, but at the same time she's like, "Oh, I didn't imagine it would go that way." I don't
but at
know.
this point, we don't know that's the plan. We just think she's being used by this guy who's
Yeah, maybe
blackmailing.
she's out of pretend like it's all kinds of hurting.
Also, it is a little confusing because when she gets there, her roommate is like concerned, sits up and is like, what's going on? It's been like this for a month, and I was like, uh, excuse me. This show is implying that she's been getting gang raped for a month.
Yeah, I mean, but the other part that was confusing is they don't really portray a month worth of time. It just seems like you go from one scene, it's just starting to happen, And then next it's, oh, this has been going on a month.
Yeah, literally, you had the scene where she reads the note saying, "You're ordered to come to my house and I'm going to introduce you to friends." And then the very next scene, it's nighttime. She's coming into her apartment and the roommate says, "This is what's wrong with you? This has been going on. You've been acting weird for a month."
Yeah,
So,
but there we got no montage, and maybe
no,
that's just it. We're just, by the time the '80s rolled around, we were just so montage expectant, you know.
yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. I guess people would read, they'd hear what she'd say and say, "Oh, it was a
That
month
was the
that
enough
this."
exposition. That's all the exposition we needed. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
and maybe they had to do it that way because it was going to be on television. So, but either way, I can't imagine that she really wanted to keep her job that badly that she would be keeping up with it for a
Yeah,
month.
yeah.
It seems
That's
really,
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
yeah, it
She
was.
can't want to keep her job that badly.
So, cut to his apartment, to Chad's apartment. Chad comes out of the dark room because he's a photographer, but it's also his bathroom where he either developed more pictures of her horrible situation with multiple men or he just laid a log.
Either way, he's evil because he left the door wide open with no fan.
I know, piece of crap.
He probably doesn't even have a fan. Well, he'd have to have a fan because of the photography chemicals, right?
Right.
You would need
Yeah.
it more so for that than whatever deuce he's dropping. But I don't
So
know what
he's
he eats. So
purposefully leaving letting the stink out. What a freak. He's
yeah,
getting worse every
he could have
sentence.
just had her pass out from just the photo, fumes or something.
Yeah, but he had to add a little more to it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
So
Yeah,
yeah. So anyway, Julie hands Chad a drink because he's like snaps, to get me a drink, and she tells him as he's drinking, she tells him that it's over. He slaps back with the witty retort of "Nothing is over until I say it is." Well, she says, "Nah, she's getting bored, and when she gets bored, the game is over."
I think Chad can feel that noose tighten just a bit more.
Yeah, a bit. Julie says that Chad is, quote, "a singularly unimaginative young man."
Especially since he's a middle-aged teenager.
Yeah. She tells him that his mind has not been his own and that she was the one that placed the thoughts of, quote, "wonder what she looks like under all those clothes" in his mind. Chad, perhaps because of the nylon from his nut noose is starting to chafe, or because Julie is smashing his brain with her mind bullets, he starts to convulse. Julie lets him know that he's not the first of her victims and tells him he's going to die a pretty horrible death. Chad, perhaps because of the nylon from his nut noose starting to chafe, or because Julie is smashing his brain with her mind bullets, starts to convulse. Julie lets him know that he's not the first of her victims, and she tells him that he's going to die a pretty horrible death.
Oh no.
Chad says, "You've drugged me," and she replies, "No, dear, I've killed you."
That
She
was a
dr-
pretty cool line.
I did like it. Yeah, yeah. She drags his body into the developing room, probably resisting the urge to look over and see the now cooling turd, and lights the pictures and negatives on fire.
He and his log soon to follow.
The next day, Julie's roommate consoles her on the loss of her favorite student, who, by the large front page article in the newspaper, must have been pretty important.
Yeah, front page news. 33-year-old college student burns up.
So
They
how did they?
identified the body by the custom-made fireproof nut noose.
Yes, we're not letting the nut noose go, folks. Not for Chad. He
No,
deserves
I
that
tell you
nut
what,
noose
I've never heard this word before, but now you're getting it
because I made
in
it up.
spades. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
After her roommate leaves, Julie's putting the newspaper article in her scrapbook of victims when there's a knock on the door. A young man is there and he says that he's answering her offer for tutoring. She invites him in and says, quote, "We're going to be good friends." And then he walks in, and as she closes the door, she silently whispers, "Very good friends."
And with what we can only presume is the young man saying, "Huh? I didn't hear you, but clearly you said something ominous."
Exactly, and that was the end. So let's
Yes.
discuss this story one. So, what did you think about the overall thing?
I felt like as a kid, don't remember much of that particular story, probably because I'm like boring,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not very, it's really not out there. It's just so subdued. But once you realize as an adult everything that's implied, I think it's a much better story.
Yes, I figured that really it would be more suited to like The Hitchhiker from HBO or Tales from the Crypt or something, where they could really kind of go into the she's being sexually abused and coerced into all of this, and then the twist is that she's actually using some kind of mind control or
Hmm.
whatever to actually be the one
Oh
that.
yeah, if they had done a like late '80s version of this, no doubt it would have had some like semi-steamy sex scenes and whatnot because it
Yeah,
would be on HBO.
yeah, having it on NBC or whatever, where the commercials for Alka-Seltzer and for suppositories didn't suit well for the
No,
sex scenes that this thing would need to up it, and they would be appropriate in this thing actually. But
it would be. Yeah, I think you would say, for once, it would not be strictly gratuitous.
right, I
However, we did not get it in that time period. We got it in the mid '70s. So
that's
as it
right,
is, it's just very dry and droll, and the little bit that you see is like you don't really get enough sense of like this is her cat and mouse game.
right, right. There's no clues laid out that I figured it out really early on because I'm expecting this, right? I'm expecting some kind of twist, right? And
Right.
so I'm like, okay, I guess she's the one that's pulling the strings, and he doesn't know. But somebody in the 70s, even though they'd already gone through, like the sexual revolution and stuff, they probably wouldn't. And as a kid, as a 5-year-old, I missed all of this. If I'd have been 15 or 16, I would have probably missed most of it, and even if I understood everything that was going on, it was pretty boring, really. You're expecting like terror, and you got, Yawnsville.
Yeah, it went basically her being meek and shy, and then you just get the last minute and a half, and you realize, oh, she was like the mastermind behind it all.
Yes.
There was no hints along the way.
No, it was just dropped on you, and you're like, if you, like I said, I was expecting something like this because of the context of the whole show. Uh, I knew that he wasn't like this wasn't going to be a simple. I hate to say it, put it this way, simple, rape thing, and she gets revenge. It was going to be something mystical or something to it that was a dark twist, and that's exactly what we got. But it wasn't exciting, built up to it, and not enough breadcrumbs. No breadcrumbs, actually.
Right. I think the more stressful part, or the scarier part for me, would be now she's going to have to leave and get another apartment. She's going to have to make another life again. That's stressful. You're going to
Right.
break a lease. I mean, my God.
As you insinuated, she has this roommate. We don't know how long she's been there. We don't know how long Julia's been there. We don't know anything about that. We just know that she has a roommate who, helps to paint the picture of her being sort of a mousy loner and all that. And then her purpose was to say, "Hey, you've been walking funny for about a month. What's going on?" And
Yeah.
you know, and that was her only real purpose. Under better hands, so to speak, I think that this story could have been done well. But as it stands, what we got in 1975, I was like, I'll never watch this again.
Yeah, it's really not worth it of the three. I mean,
Of the three,
it felt completely like throwaway material.
yes,
And Richard Madsen is better than that, but it could have also been the fact that he may have submitted a script that was far superior in the beginning,
right,
and it gets whittled down
yeah,
because
too hot
you
and
got to
steamy.
that, or you have to take time considerations. For this being what maybe an hour long. Was it an hour movie,
Uh,
or did it fit on the 2 hour format?
I think it fit on the 2 hour format, and it's three. There's three stories, and you have probably another 20 something minutes of 25 minutes of commercials on top of that. So you
Yeah,
basically have around an hour and a half of actual playtime. I didn't
right. And
pay
you're going to
attention.
spend more time on definitely on this last story.
Yeah,
So I felt like what may have been there is not what we got.
no,
I'll give the Madison a benefit of the doubt and say I'm sure there was more to it than what we eventually got, and so it suffers from that. It suffers from all the constraints. I will just say most anthology films
mm-hmm.
have this problem.
Yeah,
None of all the stories are as good.
yeah,
There's always some that are like stand out more than the other was like a waste. And that's
And
from I've seen with like Amicus films like Tales from the Crypt, the original 1972 anthology movie, and it's based off of old EC comics.
right. And the one they
That
did in
one,
the 80s as well was
mhm,
it had a couple bangers and it had some ones that were okay and then they had a few that weren't all that great. And because the bangers were so good, they made the medium ones seem not nearly as good as they were, and that made the ones that weren't all that good seem like, man, let's skip this
even
crap.
worse,
Yeah.
right? But they all end up with the same problem of uneven writing, direction, storytelling, casting, something. They're not
Yeah.
all in the same level of quality, and some are in very, just the links vary. So this is one I think it suffered from all the points, all the weaknesses of the anthology film, plus being on TV.
Right.
But the fact that you got to see anything like that on TV at the time, with maybe a supernatural bent to it, that definitely brings it up a couple notches, and I'll give them some leeway for that.
Yeah, and it was a pretty unproven kind of thing. It's like when we were kids, any Gen Xers out there, especially Gen X males, anytime there was like anything with magic or superheroes or anything like that, we just no matter how bad it was, we would just lap it up because that's all we had. Well, this was the same
Mhm.
kind of thing if you were a horror head or whatever they're called.
Yes. So we can imagine the commercials. Yes, the antacids,
Shampoo,
and yes, and advertisements for other shows that were on the time. Barnaby Jones,
yes, right. Mannix, some
Max.
stuff like that. I mean, I doubt they could have tied it in with, some, if it were modern and you were forced to set through a whole bunch of pharmaceutical ads that could suit in with the date rape drug if they tried to sell that openly, because it would fit with this, which is what it
Mhm.
was really all about. So we thought she was the one that was actually controlling the whole thing. But actually, if you think about it a little further, what she did was even crazier and darker than you think, because she did let this guy. She put this in his mind, and then she let him drug her and then do whatever he wanted to her while she was helpless and unconscious, and then do that multiple times, and then do it with groups of guys. And she was letting all of this happen just to end up to know that she's going to kill him. So,
It's part of that long con.
yeah, I mean, she was all in. That's for damn
I
sure.
got to do butt stuff to eventually, get them lined up for the kill.
Yeah, yeah. To have the pleasure of murdering somebody, I'm going to let
Yeah.
let him
Yeah,
just.
I'm so inconvenienced. This is not what I was wanting to do, but that's a Saturday for you.
Well, I wondered if she would do, like if she ever thought to herself, when I let him drug me and I'm unconscious, this guy's already a rapist. So what's to keep him from killing me? He's already a total piece of crap. So, maybe that's the thrill that maybe that's the thrill she gets out of. I don't know.
Well, the other theory could be, and of course we have nothing but conjecture, would be that because she was controlling the scenario from the beginning, she wasn't truly unconscious. She could obviously protect herself from drugs
Oh, that's true.
entering
Yeah, I
her
never thought of
system.
that. There you go.
Because think of it, if everything he's doing is from her mind,
Right.
like she gives him the idea to go roofie her.
That she ever even drink the root beer that had the stuff in it, and then because all he did was knock her unconscious and rape her that one time. Anything after that was, I'm going to show everybody the pictures and you'll lose your job if you don't come over and let us totally humiliate and abuse you for a month. At least it made more sense at the end when you realize that she was the one that was controlling all this, as opposed to just afraid she'll lose her job. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was a bit much
please.
to go through.
Yeah, so entertaining in a way, but like you say, do you need to see this part again? You probably only will if you decide to watch Trilogy of Terror as a whole
Right, as the first
again.
first time. Yeah. Yeah, right. If you're like, I'm gonna make myself watch this thing. I mean, Maddie and I have watched some pretty horrible show. I mean, like our favorite show of all time is Mystery Science Theater 3000. We watch a whole bunch of the riff tracks, and we've we listened to 372 pages where it's a book club for terrible books. So we've seen some really garbage crap.
Yeah,
and
trust me, we know shit when we see it.
we know shit when we see it. Unlike Julie when she walked into his bathroom
Photography room.
And I mean, personally, I don't think that I don't know if in the book or with short story if it's from her point of view or his point of view or whatever. But there, other than when he surprises her with the pictures, or when he, basically tells her, uh, you know, here's this letter saying, come over to my place. I'm going to make you have sex with a whole bunch of guys. Other than those two things, we don't really get a sense of her trials. Like, she's devastated as a human being for being victimized in this way. You don't have any of that. It's just, this step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Hey, it was all her doing, and now he's dead, and she's been doing it for a while.
Yeah, like we don't get any kind of real buildup about how sadistic he became with this power.
Right.
So we would feel even more of a comeuppance. But on the other hand, you can't feel totally bad because he's kind of been manipulated the whole time too.
Yeah, I mean,
but maybe he was deserving of this because maybe he was just being, the chattiest Chad we've ever seen.
Yeah, but it also could very well be a case where, yeah, he's a douchebag, and he's his standards are, 10 to you is a 4 to me kind of thing. Other than being a douchebag like that, uh, maybe he isn't a rapist. Maybe she plants this in his mind and puts a compulsion where he truly can't stop. But they do show from his looks and stuff, it shows that he's evil as shit. So he's playing along with it regardless, but you never know, because it's kind of like magic. I don't know if it was magic or because she said she put it in his mind. So
yeah, and we never see any kind of witchy paraphernalia.
No. And
we never see any candles lit. We don't see anything,
no,
in her bedroom that's going to signify that she's casting spells. We just don't know how she does it, but we know that's her sick game.
Yeah, she even had when she's talking and he sees pictures in his mind of like her laying on the bed and in the hotel room, and him locking the door and him walking to her. Well, that was exactly what it was. Now we know, of course, that they shot that scene and then they just use those clips. But if she's putting that in his head and it's exactly what happens, is she clairvoyant? Does she have, telepathy? We don't really know. So I'm not giving Chad a benefit of a doubt. I'm just saying she's clearly evil too. We don't know it just never explained how this ever happened. Okay. So that was Julie.
So what do you want to use for like a rating system? Like, that was 2.
Let's say out of 5. Out of 5.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2.5.
I'd give it a 2. Yeah. I feel bad giving it a 1 because it did have constraints, but then again, it was something we did, they were presenting and we were watching, and it just wasn't done very great at all.
Yeah. So, it's like I say, it just didn't have enough of the substance to like make it all make sense.
And it was pretty stupid in the sense of they're surrounded by all these young college co-eds and they don't find any of them attractive. And
I mean, I guess that was said maybe to establish Chad as being the ultimate dick.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Like that's not even good enough for him.
Right.
Story 2.
So I say 2. You say 2.5. That's good.
Oh yeah. Well, I was actually saying story 2. I was starting that, but let's just go with I give it 2.5 pop rocks out of 5.
And I'll give it 2 pop rocks out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, the bag of pop rocks.
Well, of course, not just 2 little pop rocks. Who the hell eats that?
I know, but what I mean. In case kids don't know the idioms, we would just say, "Yeah, I want some pop rocks."
Yeah,
give me the pop rocks.
Yeah,
we had all kinds of lingo that no one would get now.
Yeah, pop rocks still exist, but nobody. The only thing people ever think of it is, if you eat a whole thing of pop rocks and then you drink a soft drink real quick, you'll blow your stomach up, which they proved on MythBusters that that's not true. Yeah. All right, so story 2 in the Trilogy of Terror is called Millicent and Therese. Karen Black, as I mentioned before, plays both Millicent and Therese, and they're I say twins.
Twin sisters?
I say they're
No,
twins.
they're not twin sisters because
No,
if you remember, at some point, Therese refers to Millicent as her younger sister.
yeah, but I know twins who will call each other older or younger.
I see.
Even though it's seconds. But after I wrote this, I was like, I don't think they said twin sister, especially when Therese says younger sister. And I'm like, I don't think she ever said that they were twins. But anyway, the difference between them is that Millicent is prudish and brunette, and she dresses like she's Amish. And Therese is mean spirited, lunatic, crazy ass blonde.
Stereotype much?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our story starts with Millicent watching an old home movie of Therese running laughingly into her father's arms as the family dog runs to their mother.
Mayhaps now is the time to warn them that this is the sickest and darkest of the stories.
Okay, yeah. This is the sickest and darkest of the stories, and you'll see why. So the home movie shows the father kissing the daughter multiple times and patting her behind. Now, this would be a great sign of a loving family, but it's probably not going to work out that way in this show.
After you pull my tooth, can you pass the popcorn, Dad?
um, Matt, can you go to bed early? Because I'm not sure about this one. So Millicent writes in her journal. She journals a lot, but after she watches the video, the movie or whatever, she starts to journal, and she mentions that the funeral for her father is over. It was that day, and that she's alone in the house. She says that Therese she's out cavorting with one of her men. So Millicent also writes that she's watched the movies to remind herself of, quote, when it all happened. She states that even at 12 years old, Therese was, quote, already using her wiles on him.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Millicent proclaims that their mother was so weak and innocent and that she never suspected such evil in Therese, and that Therese's, quote, sweet face never fooled me for an instant. She knew the darkness fermenting in her soul.
Then why didn't you tell anyone, smart ass?
Really. Yeah, just keep it to yourself there, Millicent. Anyway, Millicent answers the door, and it's a guy named Thomas Anmar, who it's never really clear he is dating Therese.
Yes, he is. And yes, it's someone else with a weird name.
Yeah,
Anmar.
Anmar, Therese, Millicent. I don't know. They're only Millicent I've ever heard is Millicent Bostrode from Harry Potter. But anyway, it might be a name that's 7,000 years old.
Well, she says Mr. Anmar like 27 times in the 2 minutes he's on screen.
Right. And I put the closed caption on because some of it was kind of hard to hear what she was saying, because she's like pulling sort of an accent in a way. She's like a definite super prude, right? Like
like a New England old maid.
Yes, exactly. So Millicent states that she knows that he's been wondering how two sisters can look so different, which is really weird because it's not unusual whatsoever. I've known quite a few sisters who don't look all that much alike. Anyway, Thomas asks for Therese, and Millicent says she's out at a party. Thomas seems surprised since, their dad had just died that day, and she seemed so distraught at the funeral. She tells Thomas that Millicent this is, tells Thomas that she called him to come over so she could show him something. And she presents a picture of Therese with their father when Therese was 15.
Have I said oh boy yet? Because I'm saying it, oh boy.
Yeah, there's not enough old boys that can properly express what is implied here. So Millicent points out to him how Therese is pressing herself against their father in the picture. Asking why Millicent is telling him this, she replies that her sister is evil, and even as a child, she was vicious and cunning, and that when she was 16, she seduced their father. She felt that he should know that. His response is, quote, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I don't want to hear any more of this.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, actually, I think I would want to hear all of it if I was dating somebody and their sister was like, "Yeah, they had incestual sex with our father." Yeah, okay, thanks for the heads
Red
up.
flag.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, Millicent says that not long after her sister's incestuous affair with her father began.
So this is playing on TV around 9:15 at this point.
Yeah,
On a school night.
Yeah, yeah. So family,
Okay.
family hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Watching
Uh,
this with your grandparents,
yes,
probably.
probably. Yeah. And she also suggests that Therese murdered their mother, making it look like suicide. Thomas asks if it's true. How could she have lived with her in the same house all this time? And she replies with, quote, I had nowhere else to go. No money, no relatives.
Oh, how about literally anywhere else? Anywhere. Maybe with Chad.
Chad would, he'd do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh
Uh,
well, no, because if the college co-eds are dogs, I
oh,
mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 right.
yeah, it'd be the opposite.
Yeah, because he already thought that Karen Black looked unattractive, dressed up as the hot teacher with the hair
Yeah,
in a bun kind of thing. So
yeah,
anyway, so
yeah. He
Thomas
would
says,
not even want her to like go clean the toilet that's in his photography room.
no, no. He was a sick weirdo. He was like, "Hey, use my turd as lipstick." You know, he's just a freak. So Thomas says he doesn't know what to say, and Millicent shows him a book that she has a good library and says, these books say what she is. This is a book on demonology. Here's Satanism. Here's pornography. Here's voodoo. Here's witchcraft.
So basically, the first Sabbath album.
Yeah, and then and then Millicent says that these are not just books, but a means for Therese to steal others' souls, and that, by Therese's own admission, Satan guides her.
So like the first two Black Sabbath albums.
Yes, exactly like that. So Millicent says that Therese's soul is damned and that she can't do anything to help her, but she can help Thomas. And so Thomas
He seems like a decent guy.
gently tells Millicent that he's afraid that she might be the one who needs help. Millicent laughs, telling Thomas that Therese laughs at him behind his back. This seems to piss him off. He goes to leave, and Millicent said that she knows what happened at Morley, which I guess is some place where they, who knows where it is. It's a place called Morley.
Yeah.
And this stopped Thomas in his tracks. Thomas turns and asks if she really knows.
Okay, so maybe he's not a decent guy.
Maybe. So Millicent says that her sister bragged and gloated about how she was able to corrupt Thomas, that Therese enjoys inflicting pain, and that somehow Therese got Thomas to, quote, share that perversion.
Actually, he's back in.
I like the guy.
So
So
he's all right. He's all
yeah,
right.
he can. So anyway, he says that now he believes her, now that she mentioned that place, I guess. And Millicent said now he is saved and that she's freed him from evil. And that's exactly how she says it, evil, which I've always thought was lame as shit.
Yeah, a
So
little too much on top.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's like when Picard said resistance is futile. I could no longer again say futile, but in this case, when I hear someone say evil, I'm like, dude, it's just evil. We get it, all right?
Yeah.
We get it. So cut to later, where Millicent's journaling yet again. She journals a lot in this. It's a lot of her sitting in a chair writing in a book. There's quite a bit of camera time of this, and she writes that afternoon while Millicent was out shopping. Therese, quote, violated my room in an insane act of revenge. Then she later shouted at Millicent, cursing and screaming for daring to reveal the truth to Thomas.
So she didn't expect her devil worshipping, voodoo, and witchcraft wielding sister to react negatively.
I guess
That's
not.
what I'm hearing.
Yes, yeah, that's what it seems to be. She's shocked by her behavior. So by her behavior, the sister that had a sexual relationship with their father, Millicent.
Just in case anyone's forgotten that fact.
Yes, that was what we opened up with in this beautiful tale of two sisters. So Millicent said that Therese is becoming more violent by the day, as if their father's death had released the demons in her, and that she actually fears for her own life now.
And not before, with all the devil worshipping and voodoo and witchcraft.
Yeah, I guess not. She didn't.
Only now she's worried.
Only now, right? This literal Satanist that she lives with. So Millicent calls her psychiatrist, Dr. Ramsey, who, by the way, it's never mentioned, but I think it's mentioned once. But his name is Chester Ramsey. So Dr. Chester Ramsey. I thought that was rather funny. I don't know why, but I don't think of Chester as a doctor's name. But anyway, sorry, any Dr. Chesters out there.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so she says that Therese has gotten even worse. She tells Dr. Ramsey this, and Dr. Ramsey said that Millicent promised to take care of dealing with Therese herself, but Millicent replies that Therese has been telling people about their relationship, the relationship between Millicent and Dr. Ramsey,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
and spreading rumors,
yeah, untoward
gossip.
rumors. Yeah, yeah, gossip, twisting it into something lewd and unnatural, as she said. So Dr. Ramsey said, "Hey, I'm going to be in the neighborhood tomorrow. I'll stop by for a visit." When he shows up, it's not Millicent that answers the door, but Therese. Long blonde hair, short skirt, tight shirt.
Dude, who are you, Chad?
Well, I'm just pointing out that Millicent dressed like the Amish and Therese dressed like Daphne from Scooby Doo.
So
Clearly,
you're
the
wondering what she looks like under very few clothes.
right, yeah, I think they were tight enough that I don't think I had to guess. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so clearly the doctor doesn't trust Therese. Therese says that she knows why he's there, that she was listening to the conversation on the phone in her room. She had the phone in her room. She was listening to their conversation.
Just like the devil worshiper that she is.
Yeah, so he's listening to other people's conversation is about as evil as it gets.
You know,
And
back in my day,
yeah, there's the evil of listening in on conversations, and then there's the evil of having a sexual relationship with your father before murdering your mother, which is a little different. But
yes, but I would also say, you could also have just been like, picking up the phone and you're on a party line, like I was in 1979,
did you have a
Caroline
party
County.
line?
When we first moved out there, we were.
Wow.
You pick up the phone and somebody like, "Daddy, somebody's picking up the phone," and they hang up because they were that worried about like you got to make your call because they were assuming anyone who's picking up the phone has probably got something serious, And that was our first year out there.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty late to be still having a party line like that.
Yes, tell me about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm old enough to have lived in a time where that was still a possibility.
Yeah, that's crazy. So anyway, she admits, Therese, that is, she admits that she's destroyed Millicent's room and that she regrets nothing. She's not afraid that Millicent will leave because the only thing that Millicent has is Therese. Therese tries to seduce the doctor, but he rejects her and says, quote, "I don't think we have to carry this any further." And as he leaves, she's mocking him and says, "Hey, what's the problem? Is it that you're still a virgin or that you just don't like girls?"
Or that she's a devil worshiper.
That would have been my problem. One of my
Yeah.
problems with her, anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of a deal breaker.
Yeah,
For many people.
yes, yes. She shouts and chases him out the door, telling him to never come back and to stop calling. And after she leaves, Therese goes up to Millicent's room, knocks on the door, and shouts,
"Do you want to build a snowman?"
She says that the doc is gone and he won't be coming back. Says, "What do you think of that, little sister?" More journaling later or the next day. I don't know. At some point, there's more journaling from Millicent.
Man, I tell you what, it's like in her situation, unlike the young, the teen book, "Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret." Are you there, God? It's me, Millicent. I got more, and he's like, "Leave me out of this.
Hey,
I don't want to hear anymore."
Your sister's a little twisted. And I've seen some twisted stuff. So more journaling from Millicent, and she's telling how she refused to answer her sister knocking on the door, but she could no longer live in the same house as Therese. She says she can't sit around and watch evil prevail. Something has to be done. Therese must die.
Dun dun dun.
On the next day, Millicent goes to do yard work when she hears a little girl crying, conveniently right outside their door. It turns out that Therese, along with devil worship, voodoo, witchcraft, also broke this little girl's doll.
You might want to mention the little girl playing with the doll is like 14.
Yeah, it was
Not really a little girl who would say, "Broke my dolly."
I mean, she literally, it was crazy. Yeah, I guess they might have gotten a younger girl and it was too much of a headache to deal with, skipping her lines and shit, so whatever.
Yeah,
so anyway,
she's probably like daughter of one of like the director or something. I don't know.
Probably more likely, yeah. So Millicent tells the little girl that next time she's in town, she'll buy the little girl a new dolly.
Don't they live in town? I mean, isn't that where they are right now? Here in town. I mean, just go buy it, you twits.
It's
I mean,
right
it doesn't
there.
make sense. It's like saying, "Oh yeah, every month, every 3 months we go to the dry goods store. We go into town and get all our supplies."
Right. They're literally in town. You can see shops in the background of the scene. So I don't
I
know.
go into town. It's
Where's
like when
my
you go
day?
one block over, you're in town.
Yes, you literally can go get your own mail from the post office because you're in town.
She,
Um,
the next day she still hasn't gone, and the girl's like, I just see you coming back with the coffee. I mean, you were right over next to the toy store.
that's what she'd say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it, little kid. I was doing
Or
it because the neighbors were watching.
she's walking back with her coffee and sees the girl, so she hops over to the other side of the street and avoids seeing her.
Yeah, the little girl sees her and is like, hey, Millicent," and then she doesn't want to buy her a doll so much that she actually throws the scalding coffee into her own eyes. I can't go buy anything right now.
See, that'd be a great running gag right there.
Yeah, we could do that. We should have wrote this damn thing. So anyway, even more journaling. Millicent decides to use Teresa's own voodoo and Satanism books.
The spine of the book, by the way, folks, it's handwritten with voodoo misspelled.
Yes, it's on the spine. It's VOODO, and it's clearly written in a pen.
Is it an
So
old English spelling of voodoo?
I don't know. I don't know, but nobody watching that would have said, "Oh, that must be the old English version of voodoo." So anyway, uh, so since that happened, she starts to collect Teresa's DNA for the ritual that she's going to use. She collects fingernail clippings from a dirty ashtray, broken strands of hair from a brush, and a rhinestone buttons from, quote, her most lewdly seductive dress.
Millicent scraping the chewed off fingernails from the dirty ashtray, it really highlights just how unbearably sexy Therese really is.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't.
you can smell the nicotine, can't you?
I don't find, there's like a chart that they have online where it's like crazy level 10, hot level 10, and at some point the crazy gets too high to
It
overplay the
knocks you
hotness.
down points.
Yeah, she's not even on the board really. There's no amount of anything that's going to make her sexy to me. I didn't find Therese remotely sexy even with her skin tight clothes, which
But I
actually.
will say this, you got to consider this though.
Mhm.
It was a different era. Everybody smoked. Nobody's probably even thinking about it being disgusting. We're looking at it in our time period where it's very likely you can look to your left, look to your right, and look behind you and look forward, and you didn't see anyone who smokes.
Actually, yeah, you're right. The viewers probably were like, "There's only two ashtrays in her living room. What the hell? This is
Exactly.
fake."
I think about I think about what you talked about when you're watching the TV with your parents and
Yeah,
you're eating the popcorn and they got the ashtrays just to the brim of
yeah, to the
cigarette
brim,
butts.
setting like 2 inches from the thing of popcorn, and I'm just like, "Oh, I don't want to eat this." Ugh.
Yeah. So, remember that. Everybody
Yes,
smoked. It didn't even seem disgusting.
that's true. That's true. So Millicent calls Dr. Ramsey, telling him that she's figured out a way to deal with Therese. Dr. Ramsey insists that they meet, clearly worried about what Millicent will do. Millicent tells him that she no longer needs his services. So now he's really worried about her.
Or worried he's going to lose a wealthy, paying, incurable client.
Probably more likely. So
I think.
Millicent pulls a voodoo doll with a voodoo needle out of her drawer. I guess she just had one sitting there. Cut to the very next day, and Dr. Ramsey's calling Millicent. No one answers. Ramsey shows up at Millicent and Teresa's house doing a safety check. He starts searching the house, and Dr. Ramsey comes across Teresa's dead body. Lying next to Teresa is a voodoo doll, a needle shoved in its heart, and Dr. Ramsey calls the police.
A number he seems to know by heart. This is before 911, folks.
Yeah, so he somehow knows that number. And he tells them that a young woman is dead. He says, quote, cause of death, and then looks at the voodoo doll
Evidence that he moved away from the body like a jackass.
and follows up, quote, cause of death unknown. As the ambulance is starting to take the body away,
Clearly, without any police investigation into a suspicious death.
yeah, they're just taking it. Dr. Ramsey stops them, telling them that he was the family physician and that he knew them very well. He takes out his handkerchief and wipes away Teresa's lipstick.
More tampering with evidence.
Tells the EMTs that her name was Therese Millicent Larrymore. Dr. Ramsey removes the blonde wig.
Wait, that was a wig. That was a
Yeah,
wig.
yeah, it's hard to tell. And tells them that,
Like basically, why is she thinking, oh, I need to get some of her hair for the voodoo doll?
yes, yeah,
Anyway,
I noticed that too. Hair from the voodoo doll that is actually synthetic, but whatever. He tells the after he removes the blonde wig, he tells him that this was the most advanced case of dual personality he had ever seen.
and to that I say, if it's the most advanced dual personality case he's ever seen, why is he, a general practitioner, dealing with her and not a specialist? No wonder she's a nut job. I mean, come on.
Right, and fade to black. End of
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
2.
Okay.
Thoughts on story 2?
Uh, well, the fact that we're looking at it and we see that it's the same actress playing both parts, and they're just so exaggerated, just polar opposites, and no time once again to deliver anything other than I guess most of what we get is, and we get no flashback. What we get is Millicent just telling Mr. Anmar about what Therese did. Look in this photograph. I mean, that's all they did. I mean, that saves you a lot of money. I will say that. When your budget's a nickel, I guess that's how you have to handle it.
Yeah, it was actually a video that she was watching through one of those projectors. And actually, now that I think about it, okay, she's the same
Oh,
person. And Millicent had brown hair, right? Therese had blonde hair, but Therese's blonde hair was a wig. But when you see the movie and young blonde Therese runs to her father's arms and kisses him, shouldn't she have brown hair? But I don't know. People's hair gets darker when they get.
I mean, or she was already playing this dual personality thing even then.
I guess.
I
I
don't
guess.
know.
Yeah,
I
it's hard
guess
to
so.
say.
That's what I should say is like the only thing we got that was any money spent was on this film recollection.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah. Right. Yeah. So
but they
yeah.
didn't play it up as if like they didn't like do a flashback. They didn't do I can remember as if it was yesterday, and then there's that fluttering on the screen, and then it goes back. You just get that one little film. So it felt very unsatisfying
Yeah.
because once again you're looking at something that could have been good. I mean, really good with if they'd had the time to build it up.
Yes. Which they did not, and I felt like this was even more flat than the first one because even though the story could have been cool, the twist could have been cooler than the first one. It's a lot of just sitting in the same spot journaling. You only see Therese like twice, and I don't know. Maybe they were just relying on the fact that we, as the viewer, know that it's the same actress. I mean, the wig was like clearly a wig, right? It wasn't even
Yeah.
a. It wasn't even a. Oh, they've got a really good Hollywood wig, so she now looks like she's a blonde. No, it looked like she was wearing a blonde wig, and
Yeah, it's
so
like, well, she's trying to, I guess that personality is a really trashy personality. She's
yeah,
the trailer park trash lady or something. So maybe
right.
they wanted to make her look as unsophisticated as possible.
So I wonder if these people who have this disorder, this real disorder, I've always wondered if like, for example, you see in this is obviously just a Hollywood version of it. She dresses one way as Millicent. She has no lipstick on, no makeup at all, wears glasses, and then as her other personality, Therese, she at some point she has to transform, right? She has to put the wig on, she
Mm,
has to change the clothes, she has to take the glasses off. You'd think that these people would be like, okay, I'm this person, and now I know that I'm not really going to be the person I'm turning into because I'm putting on a wig and wearing different clothes, and I can't see shit because I took my glasses off.
mm.
I don't know. This is obviously a very childlike way of looking at dual personalities and stuff. I'm sure, but it, it
Well, it
wasn't
was, but it's going to go part and parcel with the feel of these, like I say, 1950s EC comics.
right.
So I guess if they're trying to pay homage to that, then I can kind of get, it's gonna be very ham fisted, very, But unfortunately, unlike EC comics, this was once network TV in the mid '70s where you
Yeah,
can't do anything
They were hamstrung.
virtually nothing racy at all.
Yeah, not too much anyway, but
Yeah.
it kind of makes me think of well, I was listening to Dragnet 1951 radio serial, and in it one of the people was missing for like 2 weeks, and when she comes back, they find out that she had amnesia. You know, for 2 weeks, she didn't know
Mm.
who she was or where she went, and all this stuff. And it's just this the way dual personalities and amnesia and stuff like that is handled in any kind of entertainment thing just doesn't hold any water with me. I would have a very hard now. If somebody took a serious blow to the head and they're like, I can't remember what happened this week. That happens. That's a real
Mm.
thing. But somebody to just like miss.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
at some point, somebody did it, and it was a very new thing.
yeah,
And then once it became a trope and then you just cliche, then people were just using it without even thinking through it anymore. Like all the things you watch, and people, in every one of these B horror movies, somebody's sinking in quicksand, and you think to yourself, one, I've never seen quicksand, and I'm pretty sure that it's so slow to sink, that you're going to get out
yeah, you're gonna get
eventually.
out.
But after a while, people just throw these things in and not even
Right.
thinking about how ridiculous it looks.
Yeah, it's part of the entertainment language, visual language, and whatever. So we just accept it now, even though in real life we're like, I don't think that's how it works. But anyway, so
Yeah. So just cliches, stereotypes, tropes, whatever you want to call them. I would say. So how many pop rocks for this one?
yes, I would give this one 1.5 pop rocks.
Okay, I'm gonna
Uh,
go with a solid 2, just because I think Karen Black's interesting in it.
yes, yes, I agree.
I'll give her that, and this to me, imagining what happened that was never shown. It just leaves me a little bit of with that fridge logic of later saying, "Wait a minute," but if that's the case, but I can't give it any more than that because too many squandered opportunities.
Yeah, the whole thing hinges on something that's total BS in how it's handled, and it's like the twist is that the doctor knew all along, and that, I don't know.
It
Maybe
seems
I've
like if
just
she, if
seen it
she
too
was
much.
that bad that they wouldn't have even had her out. Like she
Right.
would have
She's
been committed.
institutionalized. Right. She had one, she was, one sister said she was a Satanistic devil worshiping witch who did voodoo and, all kinds of, she was evil and she did, they would definitely be like, okay, well, this woman's crazy as shit. So we got to keep her away from, we don't know what she's going to do.
So this doctor, their family physician, who's I guess minoring in psychology, I don't know, and he's seen her over time, like buy these books. You know,
Yeah.
he's aware of her decline, and then goes in later and seems surprised that she finally did it.
Yeah.
Finally, killed herself through something as convoluted as voodoo on herself.
See, you just made it in a way that if it had been presented in what you just said, it would have been much more interesting to see this woman's mental decline into this psychotic devil worshiper. I don't know. It's just the way it was handled was not very good. Now Karen Black, to her credit, she did a good job. Both of these characters were totally different from each other, and she did a good job with it. But the story itself, maybe it's just because this is 50 years later and we've seen this 100 times.
Yeah, we've seen more sophisticated versions
Yeah.
of everything so far, but this
So
last story almost makes up for like whatever ineptitude or shortcomings the other two had.
I agree. This is the one, story 3, Amelia, is the one that everyone who saw it remembers. This was definitely handled well. This was definitely scary for a kid. And I thought it was, I thought it held up very well, actually better than I thought it would. Cause, I've thought sometimes, hell, when we were this age, we were probably intimidated by the Bumble, the abominable snowman from,
Yeah, exactly.
Rudolph.
The
So,
Child Snatcher and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang scared me.
well,
So
that thing still scares me.
yeah,
That thing was as scary as hell. That should never been even made. That guy was weird.
no.
So
Between
anyway,
that and Lidsville, just forget about it.
yeah, yeah. Watch our other episode from last season, folks, on
Yes,
Sid and Marty Croft.
yes.
Um, So on this one, it's like I said earlier, I just had mentioned this whole trilogy of terror to my cousin Vincent, who's two 2 years older than I am. He was like, I don't know what that was. I said, oh, it had the little doll, the little killer doll. Oh, I remember that. So this was the one that made the only impact that this thing had.
Yes, this is the
Um,
one where everyone, as soon as you give that little description, everyone's gonna just be so animated. Go, oh yeah, that thing scared the shit out of
it,
me.
it did. It was scary. It was very scary back then, and it apparently had enough of an effect that they actually you can buy dolls. You can buy this doll. People make them.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah.
I may have to do that.
So in this one, the story starts with Amelia, Karen Black, walking into her high-rise apartment building, and she's carrying a really large, aged case. It looks like it's been worn and everything. It's like a chest.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's cardboard because a 110-pound woman is carrying it with one hand.
Exactly. And she
So
sets it
it's
on.
not really that heavy. It's
No, she's
also
like totally, yeah, like totally carrying it with one hand, and it looks like it's a chest. So anyway, she sets it on her coffee table, and Amelia opens it up, revealing a primitive doll holding a spear.
well, is it me or is that thing a lot bigger than I remembered it?
I remembered it being like under the couch, so I always thought it was like 6 inches or something, but it's actually 15 inches tall, and it has a super pissed off face, and it has a set of super sharp, almost shark-like teeth. Amelia reads a note that it's very distinct. Amelia reads a note that came with it, and we learned that it's a Zuni doll named He Who Kills.
The name Chad was already taken.
So Amelia tells the doll, if she pulls the doll out, she's looking at it, and she says that it's really ugly, and even its mother wouldn't love it.
Oh man, I wonder why it kills.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the way people treat it. She notices
Yeah,
the spear and mentions how sharp it is, and even touches the tip of it.
yeah. Chekhov's Zuni doll spear.
Yes. I have to admit here, as I was looking at it, that I had no idea what a Zuni was. I actually thought as a kid, I remembered it being as a Zulu doll, right? But in seeing it, I was like, well, that doesn't look like a Zulu. It's not, it's not black. It looks like some tribal thing. And when
Hmm.
I looked it up, there is a Zuni people. They're American Indians. They live in the Southwest, and they do have art and stuff just like every culture in the history of the world,
Hmm.
but their
Yes.
stuff doesn't look anything like this. This thing is scary and evil from the get-go.
So they
So
misappropriated uh, inaccurately.
yes,
Inaccurately misappropriated.
yes,
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, I don't even know if anybody outside of parts of the Southwest are the Zuni people themselves. They're not even called Zuni. They're like called something
Yeah,
else. But
they're probably looking at that going, "What? We
yeah,
never did that. We've never
th-
had those."
like thank you, or we had it once. It's like the Germans. Okay, I had Hitler once, but we're all good people generally. So they're just
Yeah,
we make one doll that kills people, and fucking
yeah.
everybody think. Uh, so
So
Amelia,
we could have used a better quality link on the chain, okay? But
yes,
hey, those things are landed. They're like 75 cents each.
yes, this one was definitely cheap.
Yeah.
So Amelia calls her mom to cancel their usual Friday night meeting, and it's obvious that she has a rather contentious relationship with her overbearing mother. She tells her mom that she has a date with a boyfriend, Arthur. It's his birthday, and that she has promised that they would spend the evening together.
Yes, evening. I think she says, "I promised him we would spend the night evening together."
Yeah, yeah. She slips night, and it's like, oh, evening, which
Yes.
one of those movie things where they'd be like, they would say and then, oh, I mean, yes, and then, oh, okay, they said night, but they clearly meant evening. So anyway, Amelia's mom accuses her of preferring to spend time with someone else, and that she always breaks her word.
Not fair, Mom. I'm not breaking my word. I'm lying about sleeping with a guy.
Which totally saves it. Um,
Yeah, totally.
yeah, this conversation with her mother goes on way too long. I mean, it's literally Karen Black sitting on a sofa talking in a phone. You can't hear the mom. You just fill in the blanks by what Amelia says. Amelia is renting this is what we learned. Amelia is renting a sublet. Her mom, who she calls mother, no, mother, please, mother. And she sees her 2 or 3 times a week. And she's jealous of anyone taking her daughter away from her. Amelia accidentally tells her mom that she likes to live at this place and that she likes being alone. Amelia replies after that, I didn't mean it that way, showing that her
Mhm.
mother's clearly overbearing and she's a hag and she won't let her daughter live her own life. She didn't even get to tell her mom about the guy she's banging.
We got it, movie. We get it. Move on.
Exactly. Your mom
Jeez.
sucks. Her mom sucks.
So
Amelia
much
changed.
exposition during this, but
I,
I do feel before we get too far along
mhm.
that it justifies a lot. I think it
Yes.
needs to be there, and I think that was once again like it could have been worse in that like I think Karen like she sold it.
Yes.
She
No,
she had
I
all the
agree.
range of the dread of calling, trying to have the conversation. You could tell that they have a very dysfunctional relationship.
Yeah. She was
She's
frustrated with her
yeah.
mom. I
The whole
think that
point of even being in this sublet was just to try to see what that would be like, to try to get away in some desperate way of trying to forge her own life.
now in Millicent and Therese, we get Millicent journaling, and when she journals, she doesn't talk. You just hear her thoughts, right? I think that and that didn't work. In this case, you have her talking to her mom. I imagine in the short story, they're probably like, it's probably her thoughts. It's probably
Hmm.
not sitting talking on the phone for. I mean, it's quite a while, long enough that you notice, hey, can we move on? But she
Yes.
does this. This is not Karen's fault whatsoever.
Yeah, but I think that most of it I felt was justified. But yeah, it could have they could have trimmed it a little bit.
Especially since it's the third in this thing. So it's by the time I was watching it, I was like, about an hour and 10 minutes into it or whatever. So into the whole show. So I was like, let's get to
Hmm.
the good part. Amelia changes the subject with her mom. She tells her that she got a present for Arthur. She tells all we need to know about the doll. She's like reading the thing. It's a Zuni hunting fetish doll. It's wearing a chain around its waist, which, according to what it says, is supposed to keep the doll's spirit from bringing the doll to life. In case you didn't get that, she reads the scroll again, reiterating that if the chain is removed, the spirit will become one with the doll. And her mom hangs up on her.
I know what Amelia can get her mom for Christmas.
Yeah, no kidding. Amelia talks to the doll, telling it that she's not gonna. She's kind of like just sitting there, like, I'm not gonna get a headache. I'm not gonna get a headache. I'm not gonna get a headache. I'm gonna take a bath and I'm gonna have a lovely time tonight. A lovely time tonight. A lovely time tonight. So she's just done with her mom. Clearly upset with the conversation with her mom, Amelia sets the doll down hard. Okay, and as she walks away, guess what happens? The chain falls off.
Hey, Van Halen wrote a song about this too. Unchained, and you hit the ground running.
Chain. Yeah, yeah. So Van Halen twice. I got to mention it.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So after her
We're
bath,
contractually obligated to mention them at
yes,
least once every episode.
or I have to change my first name. So you see her like start her bath. It wasn't clear initially till you find out later that I thought, okay, did she just get out of the bath or what? But she filled her bathtub up with water, and then she goes and calls Arthur, and she tells him in a very long scene that again has one-way conversation. She says that she has canceled the date because she doesn't want to hurt her mother.
Run, Arthur, run.
Run indeed. And then so after that, Amelia goes to the kitchen and starts to cook dinner. She cuts a steak to broil for dinner.
Broiled steak. She's more of a monster than the doll.
I know. What's she gonna do to that
And
poor
what I will
steak?
say this, just backing up here,
Yeah,
broiled
yeah,
steak. That seemed
yeah,
to be a thing. That seemed to be kind of a bigger thing back in the day.
yeah. It must have been. Yeah.
Yeah, all I know is when you do that, you dry the hell out of it. I mean, I guess maybe some people know what they're doing. We didn't.
No, all I know is that ever since I did not eat a broiled steak, I didn't never eat a broiled steak again. So
Right. But moving along.
moving
Yes.
along. So Amelia goes into the living room and notices that the doll is missing. Now, this is where I noticed that, Amelia talks to herself a lot. Again, as I mentioned before, probably you're reading her thoughts in the short story, but in this thing, she has to talk. So she's like, "Where are you?" She's just joking with it because she doesn't, of course, doesn't believe that the thing is alive. She looks around for the doll. It's nowhere to be found. It should if it just fell off the table, it should be right there, but it's not. So anyway, she notices the chain for the first time, and it had fallen off. She reaches under the couch and she gets her finger pricked by the spear.
Told you.
Yep, check off. And
Yep.
She finds the spear under the couch by itself, and then she hears little footsteps running across several feet away from her. She jokingly says, "Is that you, little man?" and giggles. So again, I mean, who would believe it, right?
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, you feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind over here. What the
Right?
hell?
Where's
Where
this
can this
thing at?
thing be?
I mean, it literally, even if it rolled, if it was a ball, I would still see it somewhere, you know. So it's a, anyway. She hears more noise coming from a different room, and now she's starting to get a little nervous, and she says out loud, "What's going on?"
Well, I'm not sure what's more likely that this possessed doll is alive, or that a thief would reply, "Oh, nothing much."
Right? Yeah. Why even bother talking? You know, just go get you a weapon. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
So, entering the kitchen, Amelia notices that the knife she used to butcher that poor steak before burning it to a crisp, that it's gone. That it's gone.
I think there's worse crimes that are be taking place.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm kind of rooting for the doll after I saw that steak, but
yeah.
she looks around for it, clearly thinking she must be slipping or something. I mean, obviously, it couldn't be the doll, but you can tell by the way she's looking around, like, I'm kind of worried. So she turns around and she sees a shadow quickly disappear on the floor from the other room.
And pretty much this is where I shit my pants when I was a kid, or
Yeah,
last week.
or right now as we're talking about
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
It was definitely, as a kid, even as a teenager, that was a hell of a jump scare because it was like real quick, very subtle but obvious. It was very cool. That was very well done. The third story is a serious jump in quality of filmmaking, acting, and writing. It really should have just been its own thing. But
Yeah.
so Amelia jumps up, startled as anyone else would. She walks into the room where she saw the shadow, and it's at this point that I would have grabbed, a frying pan, a knife, a hammer, a gun.
And I mean, the verbiage is clearly in the Second Amendment.
Yes, yes.
Zuni fetish doll attacking. It's there.
Government, government, Zuni fetish doll. Those are what we need it for. So you never know
Yeah.
when it's going to hit you. And but I would have had some kind of weapon. Okay, that's how I roll. Even if it was like, I know there's no stupid ass doll that's going to attack me, but if I feel like I'm threatened, I am preparing myself to attack. And she's just like no survival instinct whatsoever at this point.
Well, this is the first time she's even moved away from home, apparently.
Well, that's true, but that should make it even
I know.
more scary. But
You think she definitely would be jumpy and grabbing something.
yeah, I mean, even if you're a logical person would be like, well, obviously this is not the doll, right?
But something got in here. Could be an animal or something.
Well, and she's like in a high rise, so she's like, somebody clearly is in my apartment, and I'm gonna get a weapon, or she could just run to the neighbors, whatever. Anyway,
Well, but then that would just be the end of the story.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a very good story. And this does turn out to be a good story. So Amelia is spooked out of her mind at this point. A light goes off by itself. She goes to check the light and is attacked by the doll. It attacks her legs with the knife. This is where we get the first sight and sound of the living doll. Like I said before, I have to say, it's a creepy ass sound, and it's super fast flashes of the doll. It's dark with teeth and sharp knife glinting. I mean, it's really well done.
Oh yeah, and having most people watch this on a 24-inch cathode tube TV with 340 pixels by 460 pixels with a refresh rate of 24 megahertz, that helps a lot too.
It would help a lot.
A lot.
You can't see anything. I'm watching it on a 4K TV through YouTube, and it still looks good, man. So I mean, they did a very good job with this. It's very well done. The camera view from the doll is great as well. So she takes off running, and you see it from his point of view. And as he does it, he's like screaming, and Karen Black does really her best in this whole thing in these scenes here. The way it's shot, you can see it from the doll is like fast as a cat. I mean, it's really fast. This isn't like you see Chucky, right? Which is the most comparable thing. You see Chucky, and he's like a doll that runs to you. Now, this thing is like flying. You couldn't outrun this thing. And
yeah, I mean, what makes it really scary is from that perspective, from that vantage point, you could then easily imagine what the thing is looking like running at her.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and
your
it's
mind makes it even more horrifying.
yeah, it's a monster of monsters. It's really very well done. So as it's running, literally, she runs down a hall. I mean, she hits the wall, falls down, and by the time she hits the ground, it's like rah, 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 and just going at it. This thing doesn't get
Yeah.
tired, nothing. Amelia grabs the doll and tosses it off of her and runs into the next room.
Yeah, which is a smart move.
Yep. Unfortunately, she pulls a Rob Petrie, and how about that one, kids? And trips
Yeah.
over a table like a clumsy ape.
Dumb move.
Yes, dumb move. Amelia runs into her bedroom and slams the door. She picks up the phone and asks the operator to connect her with the police. She says she doesn't know where she is, which I thought was kind of weird. I mean, it's her apartment. She then says it's an emergency. There's a just get me the police.
If only Dr. Ramsey from the last story were there, he could tell her the number.
Yeah, he had it down. You should have Amelia. I mean, there's no 911, so anyway, Amelia sees the bedroom door open and decides to just drop the phone and run. Like in most horror films, she slowly backs up on the bed while the doll opens the door, holding onto the doorknob. While 5-year-old me only saw a monster holding a door, 56-year-old me wonders about the logistics of this doll hanging from a doorknob.
Yes. Yeah, I
How
thought that. Yeah.
how could it possibly twist the knob? And if it did, how could it open the door when its feet are like a foot and a half off the ground? So
Yeah. The physics of that made no sense.
yeah.
Just repeat it to yourself. It's just a show. You really should just relax.
Yes, and this is one of those instances. So
Yes.
Karen Black is doing a thing here where she leans back, and her head is back, or everything. Her eyes are real wide, but they're like looking down. So she looks scarier than the doll at this point.
Yeah.
It was freaky. She runs again, this time to the bathroom, and she leans against the door. The doll starts swiping the knife under the door. And remember, it's like, I mean, it's savage. And but this move could only hurt Amelia if she just like stuck her foot right up against the bottom of the door. So that's not much of a thing. I wish that he could have just used his knife and the doll could have bust through the door like in The Shining.
Here's darling. Right.
Yes. For some reason, the water is still in the bathtub. And like I said, I've just now.
It's that old scummy tub water too. It's been sitting there for like a couple of hours by now.
Well, I think this is where I realized that she basically was going to take a bath. She filled it up with water. And then she's like, I'm going to go call Arthur first. And so she goes to call Arthur to cancel. And then she was going to take a bath before telling her mom to come over. But, either way, Amelia tries to get the blood off her hands while telling herself that this couldn't be happening. But hey, it's happening. She grabs a towel and sits on the toilet to catch her breath.
And that's the last place I want to be while I'm huffing and puffing. You know
Right,
what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, she's gonna drop a Chad. But
Yeah, a dangling Chad.
the dangling
And then
Chad.
try running.
Nice. Suddenly, Amelia hears a scratching on the bathroom doorknob. Now, somehow, the ancient spirit of the Indian doll, that's probably thousands of years old, knows how to undo a spring latch from a 1970s door. So it opens the door and lunges after Amelia. And I mean, again, this sucker's fast.
Well, if she sits herself, she's definitely in the right place.
Yeah, she's right there on the toilet, so it works out. Everybody wins. Amelia places the.
And if you die on the shitter, you're like Elvis. So
Yeah.
then, you win again.
But not at that point because nobody knew that was going to happen.
No.
That was still 2 years away.
God.
I know. So Amelia throws the towel over the doll, trapping it. She lifts up the towel and throws it into the filled tub, stupidly thinking that a doll that it can't breathe, so it's not going to drown, and B, that the doll won't just think of using the knife that it's holding to cut its way out of a towel. But anyway, running into the next room, Amelia turns back to see what I think is one of the best scenes in the whole story for me. It's probably the best scene in this, this whole
that
thing.
was a good yeah.
Yeah, the doll comes out of the water. You see it like she's like 25 feet away from the tub, and you see it stick its head out of the water. And then there's a quick close up of it with a knife in its mouth like a pirate.
Well, it sounds comical, but it's not.
It's not. No, it's pretty intense. Definitely. More footage of the doll's point of view with Amelia throwing all kinds of items at the doll as she runs away. She runs into a closet and shuts the door.
And how many rooms does this place have?
I don't know. I'm wondering that
I
too.
mean,
'Cause she's like, you're running out of rooms, Amelia. You should have
if it's
already
like
run
most
out of rooms.
apartments I've ever had, it's like I ran out of this room and into that room,
Yes,
and then back into the other room,
yeah,
just back and forth.
I have a bedroom, I have a kitchen, I have a living room, and I have a bathroom, and that's she's hit them all now, and we still got like 10 minutes left in this thing. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you see Amelia holding the door with all her might and all her weight, which she's like 110 pounds, but she's still 110 pounds, and the doll on the other side is somehow pulling. So she's pulling to keep it shut. He's pulling to open it again. The kind of issue I have with this kind of monster, whether it's this thing or Chucky, is how this little wooden thing with arms you could just break because these are literally twigs. How they have the strength to do this. It's like plastic Chucky. Just throw the damn thing in the microwave and melt it. But it doesn't work like that. It's a horror film. So Amelia looks around while she's trying to hold this, and she sees a piece of luggage, a handsome pea green 1975 pleather luggage.
Even a gorilla couldn't smash it, at least according to commercials back then.
Huh, kids? Huh? Do you get the
Yeah,
reference?
current right there.
Yeah, Samsonite. Amelia opens the case. She lets the doll open the door, and when it does, it just dives right in after her super fast, and she captures it in the luggage like something out of a Roadrunner cartoon. But it was still cool. It like runs right into it, and she shuts it. Yeah, I'm not doing it justice here talking about it. But anyway, Amelia throws the luggage down and heads back to the kitchen because she locked it. And when she gets in the kitchen, she gets a screwdriver and then runs to the front door and uses the screwdriver to somehow do something to the lock on the door.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, why? Why is she doing that?
It never explains it. It never says. I don't know if there was like something that they had to cut out while they were making the movie, the show, or whatever. They time constraints. I don't know, but it didn't make sense. She's like literally locks the door in one scene, and then later she gets a screwdriver to try to unlock what she had locked. You don't need it. I don't know, but
Yeah,
it was
like
a
she's
little
trying to
weird.
Jimmy the lock. Like maybe there was something prior to this where she's subletting this place,
Mm-hmm.
and they told her, yeah, that thing sticks sometimes. You're gonna need to have a screwdriver nearby and handy.
Yeah, it could be, but then why didn't she just have a screwdriver nearby instead of having to go into the kitchen to get it?
I,
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm
Yeah,
just I'm trying to give them some backstory here.
yes, they're trying to take a stab at it. And speaking of stabs,
Yeah.
yeah, speaking of stabs, Amelia now sees that the knife that the doll has is cutting through the top of the luggage. It's sitting on the ground, and you just see the knife cutting through it.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing Samsung never gave that gorilla a knife, or they'd have gone out of business.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hate to nitpick here because truly the doll, its puppetry, the quick editing, the sound it makes, this is top tier. Very, very good. I suggest anybody watch it. Grade A, fantastic. But during the scene where you are, near the suitcase, kind of seeing her back there trying to mess with the lock, the doll's cutting through the suitcase, and you can kind of see where the carpet's been moved aside a bit.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
to allow, but I mean, you can only, this is modern. I have modern television and stuff, right?
That's true. Because probably you couldn't see it, but at that time.
Yeah,
But you're pointing this out. That's what you got.
yeah,
Who's the real monster here? You are? I think you are.
I am. I feel bad about it now.
No.
We're gonna have to start this whole thing over. I don't know if I can go
You
on.
got to rethink. You need to rethink your life where you've
Yeah,
taken it at this point.
exactly. So anyway, I know, but I'm sure that absolutely no one watching in those old TVs could have caught it. But the scene itself is literally 7 seconds of time. So certainly the editor saw it, but
Well,
maybe
good. Well, next time I watch it, I'm definitely looking down for that.
yeah, it's like you can see it's kind of pulled aside, folded up on itself. So Amelia comes over to the suitcase wondering what to do. Apparently, she thinks this is the best time to take the knife away. Well, I can kind of get that, but as the knife is dancing up and down, cutting through the suitcase like it did the steak earlier. Steaks are made of meat. Cut right through it like nothing. Being controlled by a magical doll that's so strong it can open doors, Amelia thinks is the best idea to do is to use her index finger and thumb to try and pinch it as it shoots up and down at 120 beats per minute.
Yeah, she's got Chad for brains.
For sure. It's pretty dumb. But hey, she's freaking out. and nothing else works. So let's cut her some slack here, I guess. After getting predictably stabbed as she
Oh, and
tried
stabbed
to,
with probably some raw meat still on that.
yeah. Well, she is raw meat at this point. She decides to go and try to open the window. But of course, she's in a sky-rise building. They don't have windows you can open generally. And she hears the doll shout. She turns around to see its head sticking out of the suitcase like the alien from John Hurt's chest. It
Yeah.
actually looks really good. I'm very impressed as to how they present this doll in realistic and frightening ways.
Yeah, particularly since it has like virtually no articulation.
Yeah,
Like
it's
very, very little articulation.
very little. The only articulation is like whoever's controlling the doll from the bottom, and you can't see their hand. They'll just like shake it left and right, so its arms kind of go back and forth. It's really well done. But anyway, the scene is really cool. Amelia runs over, grabs the knife that the doll dropped next to the suitcase, and starts stabbing the doll in the face and head. She probably stabs it like 30 times, screaming and flailing, and eventually it sticks its head back in the suitcase and is silent.
Okay, that's it, folks. Thanks for listening to the Rusty Plague.
Nope. That's not over. Nope. You'd think that would be, but it's not. She does what any real person would do in real life if this happened. She
Grabbed the suitcase, right? And she turned it upside down so the thing can't get out, like I was saying. Put a heavy weight on it until the unbelieving cops can arrive, right?
no, she
Took hairspray and a candle and sprayed it into the hole, burning the little bastard to ashes.
no, she
Called up Chad and let him know he can have an even uglier girlfriend.
no, although that would have been good. She slowly unlocks the locks
All
and
right,
then
okay.
and then
Sorry.
slowly I guess she realizes she's in a horror film, so she has to do certain things. She slowly unlocks the locks and then slowly opens the suitcase, where it promptly springs at her and clamps onto her arm with its shark-like teeth. She flails around, smashing the thing against anything she can find. A lamp did the trick, and it fell off. She took off running.
And she had more yet unexplored rooms to get trapped in, I'm guessing.
No, she tripped over an invisible something after 3 steps. Amelia runs into the kitchen again, and when the doll follows, she slams the door, getting its arm trapped this time. She keeps the pressure until the doll drops the knife, which makes no sense because it can't feel pain. But anyway, Amelia kicks the knife away and for some reason opens the door. The doll sprints in, and Amelia and the doll wrestle on the ground for the knife. Finally, it bites her in the neck.
Well, I bet she used both hands to grab the little bastard and throw it in the microwave.
No, well, sort of. First, she did exactly what you think she would do. She spread her arms and helplessly spun around in a circle.
She's trying to turn into Wonder Woman.
Maybe. But then she used her right hand to pull it off, and in her left hand to open the oven where the steak was still being overcooked. She put her weight she put her weight against the oven door to keep it shut as we see clips of the doll engulfed in flames. And I do mean engulfed in flames for literally 50 seconds. I counted 50 seconds of this doll screaming and flailing as it's on fire. So we see this little bastard burn and scream, and so bad that Amelia closes her ears so she doesn't have to hear its death throes.
Well, not even Chad deserved that. And I'll tell you something else that wasn't any worse for the steak.
True. Steak did nothing to nobody. But Chad probably did deserve that, but he was probably heading that way anyway. But Amelia slowly opens the now silent oven, and I can see because it burned for 50 seconds. When she does, she sees flames pop at her, and we hear Amelia scream as the screen goes black. Cut to the bedroom where the upside down phone is making the sound that all Gen Xers know, but Gen Z probably has no idea what that is.
No.
And
it's crazy. When I hear it now, it sounds so antiquated. But as a kid, that just was the sound on every single show,
Yeah, if you tipped your home phone over and it was there long enough, you would get the sound telling you that you need to reconnect the phone. Amelia puts the phone back in the hook and then calls her mom. She tells her mom that she would love to have a normal night like regular and asks her mom to come over. And her mom she tells her mom, "I'll be waiting for you."
Folks, I'm starting to doubt this is going to be a happy ending.
Oh, it is. It is a happy ending. We see Amelia remove the lock that she was, for some reason, using a screwdriver on earlier. She's holding a knife, has a pissed off look on her face, and squats down in front of the door, mindlessly stabbing the knife into the carpet. The camera pans in. The music starts to drum, and Amelia slowly smiles,
A
revealing
mouthful of sharp, shark-like teeth, just like the doll, showing that he who kills soul left the burning doll and is now possessing Amelia.
damn it, dude. I wanted to say that.
Well, don't we all? I mean, you waited a long time to get to the good shit, you know?
I guess I had it coming. Oh well.
Yeah.
So that's it. So the assumption is that her bitch of a mom is coming over, and Amelia, now possessed by he who kills, is now she who kills, and she's going to kill her piece of shit mom.
Yes, that's what that's where we're gathering.
Yeah.
Now, if all that tension had not been built up earlier, you would just think, oh, she's just a ruthless killer because, you know, the soul of a ruthless killer is in her. But there's a sort of, a comeuppance that's going to happen.
His will to kill that transferred to her, he knows that she hates her mom inside, so he wants to kill her.
Yes. So even though he was like in berserker mode the entire time, when it inhabits her, it gets directed in a particular, the killing is focused at that
Yes.
point.
Yes.
It just occurred to me that yes, it's definitely the behavior is different now that there's no doll. It's actually in a person who's had a life experience.
Yeah. So and now they think about it, maybe our joke about the doll going after her so much because she said you're ugly, even your mom wouldn't love you. So
that's probably why that yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
could be. So all right. So what are your thoughts on Amelia?
That's an 8.5 for sure.
Out of 5?
Oh, that's right. We're doing out of. Damn it! I've lost my own ranking. What do we? That's right. We're doing pop rocks.
Yeah,
yes,
pop rock. Out of
rocks,
5,
yeah.
pop rock.
Oh, I don't want to give it a perfect 5 because there's still some limitations that hinder it. But I will say 4.5.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4.5. This is a classic, and it's not even good because it's a classic and we just like fondly remember it. We both just recently watched this thing, and I respect the hell out of it. This was really, really well done. No wonder it stuck with Gen X for so long.
Yes, and if you're of a certain age and that's what you see, I mean, I would, even now with little kids, I mean, sure, it's so slow moving to them. It's like just wait for it. It's going to be good, But I think once you see the monster, yes,
Yeah,
it's still scary.
yeah. The part with her talking to her mom for quite a little too long, and then she calls her boyfriend and talks a little too long. Then those parts, but they're necessary to build up for what it is, because definitely
they're necessary to build her up to realize that she's got all these fears and weaknesses, and that this is like in some ways it's almost like she becomes she's more aggressive, and maybe that's supposed to be something that she needed in her life, but not this way.
Yeah, she wanted to stand. She needed to learn to stand up for herself and live her own life. But now she's she's going to spend it in prison or dead. Because I'm sure when the cops come, she's still going to be like, and the cops are going to kill her. So
yep. But then the fear there is going to be, will he jump over to one of them? And it just keeps going on.
That's a good point. I don't know. It's it could go any direction, and that's the mark of how good this thing is, and why we give it 4.5 pop rocks out of 5. Yes. Because we're not like, oh, this thing was messed up because it was terrible and blah blah blah. We're like, this thing could have gone anywhere. It's exciting. It was cool. Yes, very well done.
It was, and like you said, they obviously did not spend money to have a second doll that was malleable.
Yeah,
like. Because you could imagine, like, and if it was done nowadays, you would see it actually turn into flesh and blood, and then
it would have bled, or they would have used 3D. I mean, even like Chucky that came out many years later, that doll was obviously it was mechanical. It was fully articulated. It could move its mouth, its eyes, its arms, everything else. This didn't have that. Maybe those limitations made it better because they had to use. It had to be in a darker scene, and then they're just
camera
shaking
angles, and yes,
it just looks even like the Tasmanian devil kind of crazy. all it wants to do is kill.
Yeah, like I say, it was just in berserker mode the entire time.
Yeah, and the point of view, close to the ground, running really fast. So this wasn't even like the trotting, Jason or Michael Myers or
Oh yeah,
something
yeah.
where
This thing is running at her like it's just a wild animal that's
yeah.
chasing after her.
I thought it was
Yeah,
great, man.
yeah. I mean, I would say just because of some of the production value and some of the budgetary constraints prevents me from giving it the full five.
Yeah,
But it's just so little. It factors in so little with this whole thing. And I got to dig in a little bit because God, trying to look at that kitchen now.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God,
It's
the
definitely all this
wallpaper and
stuff is
everything.
super super dated.
I would say when I see something that's that dated, I pretty much go into it with the idea that this is all taking place in the year that this was made. And so once I play that, once I just say, well, it's not just supposed to be any time in recent history, it's of that specific time period.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, I noticed it, but it didn't bother me because like you said, it's during that time. What are they going to do? Make it look like it's 2025? I don't think so.
Nope. And, until AI can get its hands on it, and then they will.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So overall, so we gave you gave 2.5 stars. You gave
Pop
two
rocks.
and a half pop rocks to the first one,
Yes.
Julie, and I gave it 2. And the second one, I
No,
gave it
no,
one
I
and a
think you
half.
gave
You gave it 2.
1.5 and I gave it a 2.
Yeah, this one we both gave 4.5 pop
Yeah.
rocks out of 5. So it was really well done. I could suggest to anybody listening to this, you could just, like I said, go online, go to YouTube. You can just see this one called Amelia from Trilogy of Terror and watch it. Turn the lights off. You can enjoy it. The other
Yeah.
ones, skip them.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I would watch it at least one time all the way through just to put yourself in the mind of this is what somebody saw in 1975.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I'm 5 years old. Go into it with that perspective.
if you're if you're a Gen Xer who saw this as a kid, definitely watch the whole thing and just see how it all goes. And it's neat that Karen Black has, she's literally has 4 roles in this whole thing, and see how she handles it and all that stuff. But there's definitely a steep drop off between story 1 to story 2. And then from story 2 to story 3, it's like it's so much better. It's hard to.
Yeah, like the plane was about to hit the mountains and then nose went up. It made it.
Yeah, yeah, it's really definitely worth watching. So that's that's our.
There is a trilogy of Terror 2.
Is there really?
Yes,
When
made
was that
several
made?
years later.
Okay, let me look.
Yes.
Trilogy of Terror 2. There's a third one apparently. This was 1996, and
I
I'm a.
never saw it because in my mind I thought, no, I don't want a remake or I don't want a sequel.
It has 3 stories. The first one is the Graveyard Rats.
Hmm.
The second one is Bobby, and the third one is He Who Kills. It says after finding a Zuni fetish doll at the scene of a double homicide of a woman and her mother, police drop off the doll to Dr. Simpson. She learns that the doll comes to life when the gold chain is removed from its neck, and that the doll has a desire for flesh. It also seems to regenerate, which they didn't show in that one, when she chips away the charred wood. The doll seems to be brand new. Ah, gotcha. So yeah, it's garbage. Pass it. They
Yeah.
tried to catch lightning in a bottle for the second time, and that just doesn't work.
Yeah, because the primary audience for that would have been us, I think,
Yeah,
because we've already been aware of the first, and we are
yeah,
like, oh yeah, let's see that. But I think for me, I just knew it was going to disappoint, so didn't bother seeing it, and then just forgot about it.
yeah. I mean, it's so forgettable that when I was looking up stuff for this, information on when it was made and all that kind of stuff before I watched it, it never said anything about a second or third. So yeah, nobody cares about it.
And if somebody wants to, one of our 3 podcast audience, if they want to like check it out and let us know,
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
If you want to go to the Twitter X whatever and ask us a question, we are on that, and it's at Rusty Play Pod, and you can just go there and ask us whatever stupid question. And
yeah, and Van seems to post content on a semi-regular basis.
yeah, fairly regularly. I go on it every day basically, and I'll will like some things or post something that is related to Gen X and
Yeah.
have some fun with it. So
We have fun.
yeah, we do have
We're
fun.
having fun out there.
I am.
Yeah. And sometimes if I catch it in time, then I'll have some witty retort in the replies.
See, that's what makes it fun. You don't know who the hell you're talking to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna start making some burner accounts, and I'm just gonna go in there and just start trolling the shit out of you.
Hey, what's up, sexy? You may not remember me, but my name is He Who Kills. I've been
Yeah.
looking at you for a year.
Yep, you got a real pretty mouth, but
Oh God, he doesn't. I don't want to stick my thing anywhere near that mouth.
yeah,
Yeah. So anyway, on that note, we will be back hell of a lot sooner than we were this last time. This is the beginning of season 2.
totally. Yeah, we whiffed. I mean, I had no idea how long this would take,
and it took me, like a month or so to get all my computer parts and put it all together, and we're apologizing, but hey, you're not getting your money back, so
yeah, that ship has sailed. That check is cashed.
It's not even a ship. So, but anyway, come and pick on us on Twitter and listen to the rest of our episodes. Go back if you haven't heard them, and you'll have fun because we're pretty funny sometimes.
Oh yeah, did we want to? And did you point out at any point that we got a new theme song?
No, but if they listen to the beginning of this, they might have noticed.
We'll actually, we got a quality, like professionally done theme song.
I will actually put that on the internet, so it'll just be by itself because the space behind the episodes, Maddie makes a song for each episode, and I'm sure he's going to make one for this one too. So
yes,
I look forward to hearing that. They'll all be out there too as well, and so
Rob Reiner, you like that Rob Reiner line?
I loved it. Yeah, meathead, but he was more fat than meat. That was that was great. That was fantastic. We also have like little skits that we do most episodes, and this one we didn't because basically the whole episode is a skit. We do that for a lot of our things, different subjects, and I put those out there too. They're kind of like shorts from Mystery Science Theater, really, just basically our take on non-reality of the situations that we're talking about. So
there's something else. If people want to like throw ideas at us, for podcasts, feel free, and they can do that also. Make like comments. They can post stuff on the web page, the way people used to do things. That's still a thing.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's a possibility. I don't know if anybody would really want to do that, or go to X, go to the dumpster fire that is that, and we're out there.
Yeah, you can ask. We'll do it because we don't give a shit. We got nothing better going on.
I literally have nothing better going on.
Our lives are completely empty.
Yeah. He has kids at least. I mean, but this this is everything to me. I yuck it up, but there's desperation in my eyes. So
well, that's why I'm actually, kids, I hate doing this. I hate it, but I love Matt, and I know if we don't continue this, he's going to take a nut noose and put it around his neck.
Yeah. And that's going to be a tight fit around my fat fucking neck.
All right. Better than pencil neck. So anyway, stick around and listen to Maddie's song that I'm going to slap in here. And until we meet again in the next subject, he is Maddie Man.
And he is the ever-present Vanny Boy.
And we'll talk to you next time.
All right. See ya.
Peace.
Long ago, in the 70s, a trilogy of terror was unleashed on the elderly and 5-year-olds in the scary month of May, with Karen Black, a Zuni doll, and a 30-something student who thinks coeds are dogs. Of course his name's Chad, just a lame dangling Chad, the kind of Chad you root for when he takes his final breath. I wish I could rhyme something with Chad. Oh, when luck reverts to bad,
Millicent and Therese are one and the same. Shocker. When Millicent ends their game, and as for the Zuni, good job with his chain. Amelia, you need an orthodontist with those teeth, but at least you spent some time with Mother, your overbearing mother, who's coming over for dinner, but not to eat the steak. The broiled shoe leather has an essence of hate. Amelia won't get her deposit back. With knife marks in the floor and blood in the 12 rooms of a sublet apartment, which is also terrifying to any adult, and maybe